Hi home bakers! Today I'm in the kitchen making twisted pizza bread. This bread is perfect if you're craving a warm comfort food with a twist. Baked until golden and loaded with cheese, herbs, and rich tomato sauce. This recipe is everything you love about pizza in a soft, sliceable loaf. Perfect for parties, potlucks, or turning into the most delicious sandwiches. This cheesy twisted loaf is everything you love about pizza, stuffed into a soft, sliceable loaf that's perfect for sharing, with layers of gooey mozzarella, zesty sauce, and fragrant herbs. This easy recipe makes a fun appetizer, snack, or flavorful twist on the classic loaf. So let's get into the kitchen. This is how I make a twisted pizza bread. To start this recipe, I'm going to make the bread dough. In the bowl of a stand mixer or in a large bowl if you're making this recipe by hand, add in 1¼ cups of warm milk and 1 teaspoon of sugar. This loaf is made with an enriched dough, so we're going to use milk instead of water. And the little bit of sugar is going to add flavor and help to activate the yeast. Now I'm going to sprinkle on top 2¼ teaspoons of dry active yeast and set it aside for a few minutes for the yeast to soften. Now I'm going to mix in 4 cups of flour and 1 teaspoon of salt until the dough just comes together. Now I'm going to knead in 1/3 cup of softened butter in a few additions until it's absorbed into the dough. I'm going to keep kneading until I have a smooth, soft dough ball. This should take about 5 minutes in a machine or 8 minutes if you're kneading the dough by hand. Cover and allow the dough to rise in a warm place for about 1 hour or until it's doubled. Now I can tip the dough out onto a lightly floured surface. It's super soft, bubbly, and easy to form just by pressing it out with my fingers. You can use a rolling pin for this or just press it out into a large rectangle. And now for the fun part, the toppings. I'm going to spread on top 1 cup of pizza sauce. Pizza sauce is thicker than pasta sauce and will stay in place when you're rolling up the dough. And I'm going to sprinkle on top a pretty generous 12-ounce of grated cheese. I'm using mozzarella cheese here for that classic pizza taste. On top of that, I'm going to sprinkle my favorite fresh herbs. But you can also use dried herbs if that's what you have on hand. For my loaf, I'm using a mixture of basil, rosemary, and oregano. And now to shape it into a loaf, I'm going to roll the dough up into a log. Now you can bake the loaf just as it is. But if you want to show off all those layers of ingredients inside, I'm going to cut the dough in half lengthwise. Twist the 2 strands together and then pinch at both ends to seal. I'm going to place the dough on a cookie sheet and let it rise in a warm place for about another hour or until it's doubled again in bulk. If you want to make 2 smaller loaves before it rises, cut the dough in half and place each half into a loaf pan. Now that the bread dough has nicely puffed up, it's ready to bake in my preheated 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius oven for 30 to 35 minutes or until golden brown and sounds hollow when you tap it at the top. As soon as you remove it from the oven, immediately brush the top with either butter or 2 tablespoons of garlic butter. Allow the loaf to cool 10 minutes before slicing and serving. This is a perfect garlic bread alternative. It's warm, melty, packed with Italian flavors, and comes together in no time. The smell alone from this loaf baking in the oven will bring the whole family to the table and is guaranteed to disappear in no time. And as always, you can find a link to the full written recipe in the description box below. Enjoy! If you're a fan of deliciously simple vintage recipes and old-fashioned skills, then you'll want to check out this next video. Thanks for stopping by.